What's up, everyone? We're back with the Players Lounge Roundup on Rocky Top. We're here with running back Peyton Lewis, a.k.a. the fastest player on our team. So kind of introduce yourself a little bit, Peyton.
Yeah, I'm a running back at Tennessee. My major is kinesiology. I'm a freshman here and ready to start this off.
Where are you from?
I'm from Salem, Virginia.
Okay, sweet.
So through our first 4 games, what do you think y'all's most favorite thing is that you've seen, or least favorite?
Like
least favorite.
from the team?
Yeah, like what surprised you the most?
If I'm being honest, I would say just like the whole hostile environment of Oklahoma. Like that was like our first like away game, like actual away game.
Yeah.
And I would say it was just like a cool experience, like being somewhere else and having to like play in a different type of environment.
Yeah.
For sure. When you play like on away road games, like in the SEC, you can tell like stuff gets real really fast. Like it seems like nothing is in your favor. That's just how it is.
Yeah. No, I thought it was cool too. They had a pretty cool stadium.
Yeah.
It was a little more. It wasn't necessarily as tall. It was a little wider, but
Yeah.
it was a cool stadium. Their fans were passionate, and
For sure.
that felt good to beat them though in their place.
Oh yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. Offensively, I felt like we played pretty well. I know there was everyone kind of had their opinions on the game or not, but I felt like we played pretty well. Obviously could have done things better.
Yeah.
But I think we were, not satisfied, but, pleased with our performance.
Yeah. Pretty
What do you
good.
guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I would just say like defensively, Oklahoma did some complex stuff based on what we've seen before. So
Right.
I wouldn't say it was harder, but it just took a little bit longer to get adjusted to. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think their scheme was really good. Their coaches did a good job.
Mhm.
So it was, you're right, it was just harder to get adjusted. Or not harder, but it was something different to adjust to.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you guys, like from the running back room? Obviously, we have a different perspective.
Yeah.
So from the running back room, what was it like
Yeah,
all week?
I would say just like understanding that, they're a good team too.
Yeah.
They got players that are going to make plays. So, we kind of just got to work the cut,
Yeah.
maybe get a pick up at 2, pick up at 3. We might bust one for 8.
Ye-
That's kind of the whole mindset. Just keep working the cut.
Yeah,
The running game's just going to progress.
I like
So,
We just started to get into SEC play, so
mhm.
man, we got a lot to look forward to.
yeah.
We got Arkansas this week and Florida next week.
Florida next week.
Yeah, we just got to think about one game at a time, though, because as you saw this weekend, anything can happen.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely
sure.
starting to get pretty real into SEC play,
Mhm.
which is it's kind of crazy too, because
Yeah.
you look at, if you were to look at our next 4 or 5 games, maybe even 6 or 7, you would look and you'd be like, whoa. But
Yeah.
like Gaston said, if you just take it one game at a time, everything will slow down and
For sure.
it'll make it a lot less stressful.
Peyton, what games you're most excited for?
I think I'm most excited for the Georgia game.
Okay.
In
Just because-
Athens.
Yeah,
That'll
in
be
Athens. I
lit.
mean, like, that's going to be a crazy game. We play them on my birthday, so they could either
Really?
be the best present ever or,
Yeah.
just like another day,
Yeah.
But one of my teammates, he went to Georgia too, so
Oh, really?
In high school
yeah,
teammate?
Chris Cole.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see him, catch up with him, chop it up after the
Yeah.
game, and I don't know, maybe if I see him on the field at the same time, maybe talk some trash. So I don't even know.
That'll be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
Dude, I think I'm most excited, and I know this sounds like the answer to say, but I am most excited for Arkansas. When I visited there, and we'll get into Arkansas a little later on the show too, but when I visited there, their stadium's super cool. It's
Really?
it's pretty tall up. They've got some cool features with the seats, and they have gates all around the stadium. Fayetteville was a cool town, so I'm excited to go back there. Have you ever
Sweet.
been?
No.
Have you?
I've never been to Arkansas now.
It's a pretty cool place.
Only time I've been to Arkansas is the duck hunt, but other than that, I haven't been
Did
there
you
for
kill
a football
anything?
game. Yeah.
Y'all got to take me duck hunting.
I've never been duck hunting. You got to tell him that.
You got to ask Ryan Scott. I'm a marksman with a shotgun. No
Okay.
joke. We was.
He
we
shot
was
his, sorry, what were you saying?
no, it's all good. I was out with Eli Purcell
Yeah.
on his farm, and we were out just shoot and trap. That's what it's called. Yeah.
I
And
guess.
at first I had no idea what I was doing. They told me to keep both my eyes open, and I was like, bro, this don't seem right. Right. But then as I kind of just went on with it, it was fun, and I ain't gonna lie, I was tearing them up for real.
Okay.
I say that humbly, but
Okay, babe.
I'm excited.
So, it was your first time dove hunting. What was that, 2-3 weeks ago?
2-3 weeks ago, yeah.
What would you say, how much different is it shooting clays compared to, a live bird? Was it a hard adjustment for you?
Honestly,
Because
no.
you killed the first one we saw.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive.
I felt like Dove was easier. And I know I've talked to some people and they're like, what? I had trouble shooting clay. It was also my first time really, like, I'd taken a shotgun and like shot in the air before, but I wasn't really shooting anything. So
Yeah.
clay was my first time shooting a shotgun, like really trying to aim a target. And it was long. You were out there for a while. You had 100 to shoot. My shoulder started hurting.
Yeah.
And then we got out there for dove, and I was like super excited. I was like ready for a bird to fly over and super focused on one. So
Adrenaline kicks in. It doesn't seem like it, but
what?
wait till you go, bro. Like, it's totally
Yeah.
different from shooting clays.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of, we coming off the bye week, but our last episode we did was before we played Oklahoma. So like, I know we talked about it a little bit, but what kind of were your main takeaways from the Oklahoma game?
Main takeaways.
And you too.
If you want to go first.
Man, I thought we played really good offensively. We like got the job done and did a little bit more. I thought Nico played really well.
Yeah.
That was his first, like on the road big game for
I think
real.
it was his first SEC
NC
road
State
game.
was, but Oklahoma was totally, the atmosphere was totally different.
Right.
And I thought he played really well. I thought everyone on offense did good. I thought our defense played outstanding.
Yeah.
We totally had I felt like we totally had full control of the game.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of what you said, I think the defense is really kind of what set us apart for real. Offense, obviously we made some plays and everything, but
Right.
I think when it came down to the last wire and the clock was ticking down,
Yeah.
getting those defensive stops was super critical for us.
Yeah, I
So-
agree. I think something that helped us too was all throughout spring ball, all throughout fall camp, we're working on kind of our silent mechanics of like when we're playing in big road games where the crowd's loud and you can't necessarily hear a clap or it's harder to communicate. Just practicing that all throughout camp and all throughout spring ball, that definitely helped us in that game.
For sure.
Like in away games, I'd say like having communication is a way bigger important asset than like a lot of people think.
No, yeah, it's.
If everyone's on the same page out there when it's loud, like you can roll.
Yeah.
If not, like it's kind of hard. Once you get backed up, and then the crowd gets loud, and then you false start again, or
Right.
something else little happens, it just turns one drive into, nothing fun.
Like the snowball. Yeah, it's like
Snowball
hard to get
effect,
that. It's
yeah.
hard to get that momentum back.
Yeah.
Speaking of that too, I don't think some fans, maybe they do realize, but I guess I didn't realize it quite until I got playing football at a higher level, was like setting yourself behind the chains makes it really hard as an offense. Just kind of when you false start on the first play of the drive or you're maybe getting a holding penalty or whatnot, like going from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20 or 2nd and 8 to 2nd and 18 it's a pretty big difference and it makes it pretty tough.
Yeah, just being in like 3rd and 10 in general in the SEC is hard to convert.
That's tough.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of when I mentioned in the intro,
Yeah.
you're the fastest player on our team in the new NCAA game, 97 speed, right?
Yeah, 97.
Kind of talk about your journey. I know you ran track in high school.
Yeah. So sophomore year back in high school, we had just started playing football,
Yeah.
and I was super pumped up about it, and played a really good game on defense. I was playing defensive end at that time, which was definitely different because we had to switch. They had a quarterback who was like a dual threat, I guess. So they needed someone else fast back there. But that same game, I wound up breaking my left fibula.
Oh, wow.
Had to have surgery, and then I came back. I think it was the second playoff game of our it was the second playoff game of the playoff season.
Okay.
And I played, and then the third one, I wound up tearing my right labrum. So
Jeez,
then I had to have 2 surgeries, and that made me question if football was really for me.
Right.
And then, I moved on to track. I was always fast, but I was never really into track, but, I figured I'd give it a shot. I ran it in middle school, so why not try it out, right? So I go out there, and this is like after I'm recovered and everything. The track season's a little bit after football, so at that point, I felt like I was fresh for real.
Yeah.
So I go out there, I start putting up numbers. At first it was a little slow.
Right.
I had to get started back up again, but after, I kind of put my foot down, put my head down, ears back, and then I was going. It was just a steady increase, right?
Right.
Start breaking records, start moving myself up in the rankings. And at one point it was like, how can I see myself at number 1 in the state to how can I not see myself this much ahead in front of everyone else? And I feel like that was crazy for me, like, especially being in our state. And it moved from being our state to becoming nationally.
Yeah.
And at that point, it kind of just like, it kind of blew my head up. But I mean, that's just crazy to think about. And then, winning a couple state championships, that was cool. And then with our relay team, we wound up going to the Armory the Nike Armory in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we went to Ocean Breeze in New York my sophomore year, and I think we placed like maybe 15th in the 4x2, and I placed 5th in the 60 meter. And I was a sophomore at the time, so I was still mad about that because I tripped. I tripped. I was so mad about that. But yeah, and then we wound up going to New York, the Armory, my junior year, and that was when we were one of the fastest teams in the nation. We go up there. I'm pretty sure we had the fastest time the first time during semifinals.
Yeah.
And then we go out there for finals. We were losing at the beginning. And
Okay.
then, yeah, all the way up to the third leg. I was the fourth leg. All the way up to the third leg, we were behind. And I was like, all right, this is like, it's now or never.
Yeah.
All right, I grabbed the baton, passed him instantly, and then I just hold it off, set a gap, boom, we won a national title. And it was crazy.
It was a 4x1 or 4x2?
This was the 4x2 in indoor.
Really?
Yeah, and then after that, it's just indoor, outdoor. It's crazy to me because, like, my dad, he was fast too, but he didn't have the same opportunities as I did.
Yeah.
And then just, like, winning state championships back to back, getting rings, like, winning a national, like, it was crazy for me.
That's really cool. Do you think that, like, when you were in recruiting, did coaches ever mention that? Do you think that helped you as far as, like, being a running back?
Yeah, for sure, but the common question was, is he a track guy or is he a football guy?
Oh, really?
And I remember people would ask me that question in interviews, and I would tell them, I'm a football guy that runs track because I'm fast.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
like
a track guy that plays football, like whatever. Like that just didn't correlate to me.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
When did you like officially start getting highly recruited out of high school?
I would say it was around the end of my junior year, or like I guess the middle. It was the end of our season in junior year. I had gotten my first offer 2 days before my birthday from ODU, playing running back. And then I got one from Liberty as linebacker, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah, they wanted to offer me later. I think it was in my senior year for running back again, but it was weird. I got recruited for linebacker, and then after that, it kind of just started, blowing up and started getting more offers. And
That's sweet.
it was during that off season, and track definitely helped me out a lot. Helped me put
Yeah, I'm
myself
sure
out
it
there.
did.
And they're like, oh, he's a running back. He can run too, and like he has a nice frame on him. Like I was at 195. 6'1", like running these times playing football, and I felt like that's what set me apart.
Dude, I remember my first time meeting you was the 865 live.
Oh my gosh!
And
yeah.
I was talking to Coach Halsley, and he was like, "Hey, this is our running back. Don't tell anyone. He just silently committed. He's not going to announce it for a couple days or whatever." So I was like, "I won't."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Tell me about him. Like, where's he from?" And he's like, "Well, he's from Virginia, and he runs like I don't know what he said, like a 10. What do you run, like a 10.4?"
Yeah.
10.3. He's like, "Yeah, he runs a 10.4," and I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
So no,
that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I remember that day. I met you the first time. I think I was talking to someone, and I see someone approaching me from the side, and I'm like, okay, this person's getting closer. Like, and then I didn't like look at you yet, and I was like, oh wait, is that Jake? He's just like, yo, Payton, what's up? We'd have each other out. I'm like, yo, this dude Jake, he kind of cool. Like, he kind of cool. But yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. I told right before that I had taken a visit, and I told Coach Max, because he had made a joke that like, hey, we sitting on the G waiting for you to send the O. It's go time. Just go ahead, commit.
Yeah.
I had called him on the way back from a visit. I didn't even sleep on it. And I think that's kind of when I made my mind up. And then 865 Live is when I made it public. So that was pretty exciting.
Well, to change the subject a little bit, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who was affected by Hurricane Helene. I know our area got hit pretty bad. Not as bad as some parts of Florida, but our area got crushed pretty bad. Kind of about you went down to South Carolina for the bye week to go to your farm. Kind of talk about that experience a little bit.
So we got off Thursday. I went home. Well, not home. I went to my farm to hunt with my buddies during the bye week, and the hurricane ended up coming Thursday night, and there was a tornado that came like through my farm and almost.
Oh, you were there.
While I was there, while we were there, freaking out. And it almost took out the cabin we were staying in, but it ended up not. Thank the Lord. But
yeah, seriously.
No, it was a pretty scary experience. And then you saw in Asheville, all the interstates, I-40 and stuff got flooded. So I can't go that way anymore. You had to come back through Georgia. But it's pretty wild. Prayers are out to everybody.
Yeah.
Asheville got flooded pretty bad.
Did it?
Hopefully the power gets back on soon. But
yeah, no, it was
scary experience.
There were lots of trees down, power lines down, power's out in Savannah. I know my high school's canceled school for a while. I was with somebody this weekend who tree fell in their house. Gonna have to I don't know what they'll do about that, but
Have y'all ever been like around a tornado?
no.
I wouldn't.
You
Bro.
wouldn't recommend it?
Bro, it's like an experience that you can't explain. Like you could hear it. You hear it hit the ground.
But you can't hear hit the ground.
Like, bro, it's so loud.
So wait, it comes up like from the top and then.
I don't know what happened. All I know is I heard trees flying left and right. The roof almost came off. My friends were like screaming my name because in the cabin there's like one big room and then a little room with a bed in it. And I was in that room and I like got under the bed and just started praying.
So it's
Nah,
like,
we're laughing, but it's serious.
Nah.
Dude. Like,
Yeah, I'm just thankful we didn't like something bad didn't happen.
yeah.
So like you could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah. I wouldn't look
You
at
don't
it.
want- you
I
don't
didn't
wanna
want
go
to see
out
it.
there. You don't
I
wanna
was
see it.
sitting in the bed like that.
Yeah.
Was it just you and your buddies, or was your dad up there with
No, it
you?
was just me and my buddies. Bro, we were.
That'll be something that, I mean,
We'll
not
remember it
necessarily a
forever.
great memory, but
Yeah.
it'll be a good memory.
It's a
or
pretty good memory.
to
What about
have.
Savannah? Did it get hit bad?
It's pretty bad. I don't think it's as bad as Matthew from. Do you remember Matthew Hurricane Matthew 3 or 4
That
years ago?
ruined Hilton Head.
Yeah, there was a ton of flooding. I don't know if necessarily the flooding was that bad. I think the tide must not have been high when it
Yeah.
came through, so that's fortunate. But just like power lines out, lots of power lossage, and then trees everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the part of Spain I live into is called Skidaway Island. So it's not landlocked. You're surrounded by water.
Yeah.
So anytime a hurricane comes through, it's a big deal of like how high the tide is. Will the tide be high enough for flooding to occur? You know, stuff like that. But thankfully, there wasn't any bad flooding in my neighborhood. Now going into this week, going to Arkansas, playing the Razorbacks, 7:30 game again.
Gosh.
I don't know.
It's been back to back, dude. Like,
Dude, I have a small feeling that if we keep winning, all of our games are going to be like that.
Well, because with it not being CBS anymore, with SEC not being CBS anymore, prime time is 7:30, right?
Yeah. I mean, the night games are really fun and stuff. It's just like
you gotta switch it
You're
up.
getting back late.
getting back at 4 a.m. isn't that fun, you know?
No, it's not.
You gotta switch it up.
But like when you're in the game and you're in the night
it's
environment,
sweet.
it's unbeatable.
cool.
But he's right. Getting back at 4 a.m. is not something I look forward to.
You don't get used to it.
If y'all had to pick, what time would y'all want every game to be at? I'd say 3:30.
3:30.
You get to sleep in a little bit in the hotel, and then like it comes faster than it seems, and then
Yeah.
you're out after you out
I would-
earlier. But
I would want some at 3:30, but like then I think a night game in Neyland against a big because that's gonna end up happening. We'll have a night game in Neyland against a big SEC opponent.
night games at home I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because then you're not getting back. You're not having to come
Exactly.
back. Hopefully, though, we can keep on winning and stacking wins, and these plane rides back won't be
For sure.
anything to think about or worry about.
Exactly.
I'm excited to go to Arkansas.
Yeah, what
We
do
get
y'all think about Arkansas?
I'm excited to see one of our former teammates, Addison. I'm pretty sure he's their starting center.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see him.
Danico too, right?
Danico's there.
Danico.
Yeah, dang.
Did you have
We got a
a?
couple players.
I didn't. Obviously, I didn't. Me and you didn't play with Danico or Addison, but you did.
Yeah.
Kind of. You have pretty good relationships with those guys.
Yeah,
or-
those guys were cool.
Yeah.
Both great dudes, really good football players.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see them.
I know. Speaking of, I met Addison on my OV. You kind of.
Where were we?
We went after
Oh, yeah.
you picked me up from the dinner with the coaches, and we went to his apartment, and he was a super cool guy. And
Yeah.
I remember he had a piano in there,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy though, and super hospitable. So I'm excited to I know he'll be bombarded after the game by everybody who actually
Yeah.
knew him, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll be able to go and say what's up, see if he remembers me. All right, so kind of like, what are your thoughts on Arkansas's team, like scheme-wise, everything like that? I know they had a pretty close game with A&M, right?
Yeah.
Who ended up winning that?
I think Texas.
I think
A&M.
A&M.
A&M
They
did?
wound up winning that. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of like from what you've seen, because we had a week,
Yeah.
we had an extra week to prepare for him because of the bye week.
Yeah. I would say that, don't underestimate anybody. I feel like, especially seeing that Kentucky game, like there's a bunch of teams out that, still trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
They're sneaky good. So, like, I just think
Yeah.
our biggest, opponent is ourselves.
Yeah.
For real. And especially the way that we're moving right now, I feel like the only way that we could diminish any of the good stuff that's going on within this program is just by, like,
Beating ourselves.
beating ourselves, getting too arrogant, having our heads blown up. Like, I feel like We
Yeah.
just need to ignore anything that's going on socially and just keep our heads down.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited about it, though.
I totally agree, bro.
It's like it sounds cliche because I know everybody in the media and all the fans always hear Coach Hype say it, but it's true. I mean, he's not just saying it because he wants to give people the easy answer. It really is the truth.
Yeah.
Like Coach Hype said, we should prepare every week the same way,
Yeah.
no matter who we play.
Yeah.
Just so, like, you don't have to worry about it once the night before the game or whatever.
Right.
You just build a great habit of preparing the same way every week, and we should go out and dominate, I think.
For sure.
Yeah. As fans know, we had a bye week last week,
Mm-hmm.
so we got to kind of sit down Saturday and just watch a whole bunch of college football, which was cool. See the
Yeah.
other teams play, see teams we played before, see teams we're gonna play, and then maybe teams we won't play that are at least on our schedule. Kind of, what were y'all's thoughts? Were any certain games entertaining to y'all? Like, did you even watch
Yeah.
games at all?
I watched a couple games, even though the power was out. But no, I watched the Alabama-Georgia game. I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty impressive how, like, no matter what happens, what controversy you go through, like, as long as you keep playing, you can get back into a game like that. Those
Yeah.
are both really good teams, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
For sure.
that was a really fun game to watch there. Those are two really good teams, played each other in a big stage, big environment.
Exactly.
And we got both of them on our schedule, which I'm excited for too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I remember watching that game. Off rip, my dad, he was talking trash about Payton. He's like, "Hey, Georgia, they gonna whoop them." Like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good game. I didn't really have like a, I didn't think Georgia's gonna win this. I thought
I
it
had
was
no
gonna-
idea either.
I thought it was just gonna be a good game,
Yeah.
right? But then Alabama came out the gate,
Momentum.
dude, tearing them up, and I'm like, bro, this ain't looking good. I started looking down. I'm not even watching the game at this point. I'm like, bro, it's getting bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Leave, come back a little bit later. See Georgia put some points on the board. And
Yeah.
My dad's like, yeah, dude, they come back. I tried to tell you. And I'm like, all right. But, yeah, dude, super entertaining game.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good point. What Gaston said. You never know what can happen. You got to keep playing.
It's hard though. Like
sure.
I mean, like if you go down to Alabama, and they get up big, like it's not easy to keep playing and keep.
No.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's hard to keep just going, and you can come back like that. So.
Right. And that's a roundup with the Players Lounge roundup on Rocky Top with Gaston and Peyton. Thanks for coming on, Peyton. By the way.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no
Sweet.
problem.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Reach out to us. Let us know who you want to see, what you want to hear. We like hearing you guys' feedback. Go Vols.